welcome to my YouTube channel. So I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to wander around the garden and look for maybe feathers, maybe fallen cones for the trees or whatever I might find as debris. And then what I'll try and do is be creative and maybe try some water drop photography using the items that I pick up around the garden. So join me and let's see where this journey takes us. Let's go and pick some items up from around the garden and let's see what we can find. Alright, so if I look around here, oh, there's a feather. So we've got a feather here, quite old. We'll take it because it's lying around. Put it in the bin. What else have we got? There's another feather. It's quite handy having the bird station. There we go. I think it's going to be mostly feathers. Nothing else around about here. Right. So what I'll do is I'll keep looking. So this is the goodie bag we've got. We've got all these pieces, tree branches with a lichen on it. We've got all these pine cones that are really small. I've got quite a nice feather there. That's quite a nice clean one. The other two are quite dirty, but I can maybe do something with them, maybe curl them up. But that's quite nice condition. There could be something I can do with that. So what I'll do is, I'll go down to the front of the garden and I'll see if there's anything there. Failing that, we'll catch up when we're ready to do some photographs. Right, so I've got that box of pine cones and some feathers and some branches with lichen on it that I picked up earlier. And I'm setting up a wee kind of photography area here in the garage so that I can use the kind of natural products that I picked up this morning for macro. And what I was thinking about trying to do was, because it's something I've never done before, is water drop photography, but not dropping water into a dish, but just putting a little drop of water either on the feather or on a pine cone in a specific area that might make quite a nice composition, and then use a macro lens to take a shot. So it's quite challenging. I find myself in a really different situation because I'm usually out and I get inspiration for where I walk, but I'm having to make this and I'm really struggling. I've got friends who do still life compositions and oh wow, I can really appreciate how difficult it is. I mean, the beauty of their work is quite amazing. Right, I'm going to play about with a couple of things at the moment. I'm going to use some acorns, maybe some branches, put them here, and I'll see if I can set up a composition and then I'll catch back with you in a wee minute once I've sorted this out. Alright, so what I've done is I've used a extension arm and I've put a washer underneath it so it'll hold the pine cones here. I've put a warm light in the end, and then what you'll start to see is that's getting light. I need something blue, and I've found this old IKEA bag lying about in the garage, and I'm just holding that up just to see if I can get just a wee bit of blue in the shot. So I'm going to see if I can fix this bag somehow so it's sitting there underneath the pine cone, and yeah, I'll take a couple of shots with the change of the lights, and then I'll be able to show you the difference as we go along. And then what I'm going to do is add a water drop, and then let's see if that works. And I'm experimenting, so I went online earlier to find out how you get a kind of stiffish water drop, and it's supposed to be glycerin and water on a 1-to-1 ratio. So I bought a little bottle of glycerin, so I'm going to mix up some water and glycerin, and I'll use that as a droplet on the pine cone, and we'll see if that works. So I've realised that the pine cones probably know that quite conducive when it's turned around to have a raindrop, a water drop on it. But what I have done is I've used a tip of one of the buds on the branch, and I've put a couple of water drops on that. So what I've done is I've focused in on the pine cone, then I've focused in on the water drop. So what I'll do is I'll combine those two, and then I'll share that final image with you now, because the pine cone, the way that the lightings come up, pine cone's quite nice, and that kind of soft kind of cream colour with the blue coming through the IKEA bag is just giving it a wee bit of a lift. So I'm going to swap this round, and I'm going to look for another piece of prop, and we'll use that. I'll tell you, hats off to folk that actually do still life photography. This is a lot of time, and I'm just taking a position here. So as you'll see, I've got the leaf in my composition, but I've got a two-tone background. So I've got this wooden base, and I've got the background. But the way the lighting's going, it's like a gradient black to white. So what I want to try and do is use an old photo that I've got, and it's got a white card at the back. Place that there so I've got balance, and that's nice. So at least I've now got a lighter background. What I might do is put a light under it just to lighten it up, and then hopefully I've got a balance, a lighter balance between the two, and then I'll do the bravery test, and I'll put the water drop on the edge of the leaf, and we'll see if that's a nice composition. Alright, so I've managed to rig up a bit of lining that I use in the strimmer, and I've attached it to a tub and the pole, and I've put a wee wire hook around the leaf. I can Photoshop them out, and then I've now got the leaf in my image. So this is all set up. I'm going to try and put a drop of water just at the base of that leaf. I tell you, it's really challenging. Either I've got my mixture wrong, but it's really, it's not as easy as it's made out to be, and what you see in a lot of YouTube tutorials. This is tough. I mean, setting up these compositions is really hard. You've got to use tubs and strimming line to try and suspend things. So anyway, I'll add the water, and then I'll show you these images when I'm finished. So I've got a feather. I'm using a feather now because I wasn't really having a lot of success with that wee leaf. But as you can see here, I've got a wee drop of water on the stem of the feather. So what I'll do is I'll try and move this around so I've got different compositions. I'll do it at different levels, and then hopefully using the feather I'll be able to get some success with some water drop shots. And when I've finished, I'll share these images with you now. Right, so for this shot, I'm still using the feather because I'm getting some really nice effect with the feather. And what I'm doing is I'm just moving the light around just so we can see the different lighting positions I can get. And it's actually really wispy and soft. It's absolutely stunning, the effects I'm getting here with these lights and that bead of water on the feather. So I'm going to play around and do a lot more here, and when I'm finished I'll share those images with you now. So this effect, I'm getting quite a nice, it's like a velvety, soft effect that I'm getting here with these drops. So I'm actually quite enjoying it now. I'm finding, I think the mixture of the glycerin and the water has got thicker, so, and my fingers are a lot stickier now because of certain things, moving these around. So I'm just going to move the feather around a wee bit more and see if I can find a different composition using the feather. And what I'll do is, the extra images I take, I'll share them with you now. What I've done is I've put this twig with some of the lichen on it, and then I've put a little bit of drip there, a drip here underneath the lichen. It's not fabulous. I'm going to try and put a drip on that lichen and see if that'll work. It's more exploration here and just playing around. I think the feathers, those images, they look great in the back of the camera. I don't know how they'll look because they were so soft, just because of the shallow depth of field I'm using. I'm going to try and see if I can get a drip at the end of that lichen, and you never know, it might turn out. So I'll give it a wee try, and anything I capture here with the lichen and the twig, I'll share those with you. Alright, so I'm experimenting with a broken bit of feather here, and what I'm doing is I'm just using examples of how the light can change the colour. So I used the LED panel there with a warm light, and I'm now using a fluorescent light, and when I use the fluorescent light, it's more or less giving me a black and white grey type image, so it's actually quite nice. So what I'll do is I'll finish off these images, and then I'll share these images with you now. Right, so here's hoping we can make a video of this. This has been a real challenge. Hats off to anyone who does macro photography, still life photography. I've just learned how difficult it really is. Trying to use water drops and then trying to get the mixture between the glycerin and the water, that's going to be trial and error for some time. And then just getting the right props to use that makes the water drop more conducive for use. But I'm going to keep experimenting with this anyway, and what I'm going to do is end the video. So I'm really hoping we can make a video of this. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because you know it's free. And if you press the bell notification, that'll let you know the next time I post a video. So thanks very much for watching, and here's to the next video.